So, where he left me is set on an isolated mountain near the North Cascades National Park in Washington. It's called Hemlock House. It was built in the late 1800s, and it's a family homestead that's been there for, yeah, generations and generations. And it's based on where my husband and I used to live. My husband is Canadian. We lived in Vancouver or the Vancouver area for several years after we were first married. And the best house that I have ever lived in and probably ever will live in is an old farmhouse that was near the Fraser River, near Vancouver, British Columbia. We were alone out there on 19 acres, and we had like it was built in the early 1800s, or excuse me, the late 1800s, and it had all the original windows in the house, so they were kind of warped glass. And we were alone out there in the middle of nowhere. And in the evenings, we would have like packs of coyotes come through our yard and howl so loud that the windows would shake in their frames. So Hemlock House is based on that. It was a magical place to live and yeah, super spooky too. I've always wanted to set a book there. Where He Left Me is the story of Sadie Sheridan. She is a newlywed in her early 40s. So for the first time in her life, she finds love. Her and her husband are both college professors, and they decide to take a sabbatical so that he can work on a planetary sciences grant that he has gotten to study dwarf stars. And she is a aspiring novelist, so she's working on her novel. Well, Felix ends up going to a planetary sciences symposium and never comes home. So Sadie finds herself stranded on this mountain by herself, wondering where her husband is as a winter storm bears down. And then there are intruders that find their way onto the property. So yeah, the rest of the story is it's kind of locked door, but it's on a mountain. Well, we currently live in Iowa now, so I'm well accustomed to bad weather here too. Yeah, we have tornadoes, we have terrible winter storms. We've gone without electricity for days at a time and had to have friends stay in our house and whatnot because their place froze. So I I guess I drew from past experience, but also that isolation of living in that house in BC. There was nothing like it. We really felt like if something bad happened, we would be on our own. People go into the book a little blind and aren't sure who they are. The first, maybe, I don't know, 30 to 50 pages is this mystery of who are these people? Are they a threat? Are they not? And when it all comes to light, it begins to take the story in a completely different direction. So yeah, I hope it's a fun discovery for my readers.